You're listening to the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast, giving you an in-depth look at Missouri Western athletics with interviews, features, game broadcasts, and more. Here's your host, Tommy Rezaj.
Welcome back to our Griffon Sports Insider Podcast, as this is the final edition of our Turn Back the Clock series, talking with five members of the 1975 Missouri Western football team, the team that made so much history on their way to their first ever postseason birth and victory. 1975 team who went undefeated at home, defeating Graceland in blowout fashion in the Mineral Water Bowl, which was the 28th edition of that game back in Missouri Western's NAIA days. And we're pleased to be joined by one of the engineers of that team. He was a second-team All-American in 1975, a team captain for 4 seasons, a member of the 1970s All-Decade team, and now 35 years ago, inducted into the Missouri Western Hall of Fame as an individual. Bob Heimbaugh, the quarterback of that Griffon team in 1975. Bob, thanks for taking the time. Congratulations on this honor. Man, 50 years since one of the really the first landmark victory for Griffon football, as we're now in our 56th year of football on this campus. But to kind of circle back and get to reminisce and enjoy just the memories of that time, what does it mean to the fact that this team will be honored on the field here in our conference opener?
Yeah, Thomas, thank you for having me on. It is a long time ago, like you say, 50 years. We went through some transitions, between coaches in those 4 years that I was at Western, and certainly that last year under Coach Hicklin, brought everything together. We had his first year. We didn't do so well. When the 8-3-1 was a great experience. The year before that, we were 2-8. So we had only 21 lettermen that came from Coach Cagle's program, and it was kind of a long season. So to turn it around that quickly, we really enjoyed that. We had a huge influx of players that came in from actually from D1. We had Bubba Hopkins, Chris Hoskins, who's no longer with us, Walt Wilson, Missouri. Bruce Cowdery's dad was a coach there, so I think he had some influence there. Running back named Jay Randall came, that was a St. Joe native, came back from Kansas. And then we had another great player, Joe Henry, a tight end that Coach Hicklin. So we really just, completely changed things for that next year. And to me, the main influence in that was Coach Don Cummings. We got him in spring ball. We had a chance to be with him through that whole time and get ready for that 1975 season. He was a quarterback in college. He brought a whole new offense to us. The way we threw the ball, everything. We went to just complete reading type offense with him, and it truly worked out well.
Yeah, so many big names you mentioned in there. Joe Henry, who was a member of this podcast series, who we talked to. Yeah, Bubba Hopkins, 1,054 rushing yards that year, which at the time was a program record. And you, Bob, 2,434 passing yards, which was the most ever by a passer in the state of Missouri at that point in time. And one of your big targets, Joe Henry, who had caught 53 passes, which was then a program record. So, yeah, obviously 75, only the 6th ever season. It was the first winning season. And, this year wasn't without its lumps, right? A loss at Truman, a shutout loss at Southeast Missouri, at Nebraska Kearney. And then this team really got on a roll late in the year and made a statement, shutting out a pretty good Graceland team in the Mineral Water Bowl. And you yourself, local regional guy, growing up in Bethany, Missouri, near the Iowa border. Just take me through kind of the decision to kind of come to this upstart program that, had won some games, but hadn't done anything overly significant, at least on paper. And it was a program that, as you said, went through the coaching change with Rob Hicklin in year 2 at this point in 1975. But yeah, just tell us about the initial decision to play football at MoWest.
Yeah, I think most of it, just came down to being a new program, a new place to start, an opportunity to get on the ground level of a new program. that the school, I was ag. I wanted to be in ag business, which Missouri Western often offered that to me. So I think, and one of the other things that worked out really well was, good lifetime friend, Zach Workman, to the early team. We played in the same Grand River Conference. He was at King City. I was at Bethany, and we played against each other there together. Those 4 years, and his first two, I think he was over. That second year of mine, he was over 500 yards as a tight end, and then followed that up, 2 years later with Joe Henry over 1,000 yards as a tight end. So we used those guys considerably well in both of those offenses.
Yeah, so good. Zach Workman, of course, still heavily involved around here, as you know, and he was probably one of the first Gold Coaters I met when I started doing games here in 2021, and yeah, still see him pretty much weekly at events. So that's pretty special. But yeah, just kind of going through the 75 years. So you were a senior at this point, right? By the time 75 rolled around.
Yes, that was senior year. So we suffered through the 2-8 as a junior.
Yeah,
and then. Got to the 8-3-1 and the bowl game as a senior. So good way to go out. That the bowl game, it was interesting as we started at the end of the first quarter, it was still 0-0, and we had a quick meeting and said, these guys shouldn't be playing with us, and everybody kind of took that to heart. And at the end of the third quarter, it was 44-0, and then we just kind of let the other guys play the fourth quarter. So that was good. Good way to end a career.
Yeah, one of two shutout victories that year. It started with the gritty 6-0 win at home over Harding, and then it comes to fruition in Excelsior Springs in the Mineral Water Bowl, beating Graceland 44-0. A Graceland team that had beaten MoWest the year prior, so that one certainly had to feel good. Talking with Hall of Fame Griffon quarterback Bob Heimbaugh. And, in talking with four of your teammates, you look at what this team, its accomplishments, and what it led to in the late 70s. Bowl victories again in 77 and 79. And, of course, the Division II era would come just over a decade later. But as just a fan and an alum of the program all these years later, obviously college sports, here and abroad has gone through big changes since 1975. But just for the trajectory and this kind of state of the program, what in your mind did that achievement, getting to that postseason and kind of letting people know, like, hey, Missouri Western, we're something now. Like, what do you think this did for the long-term growth of Missouri Western football?
Yeah, I think, just to get to allow the coaches and the program to, have a better recruiting base. Mm-hmm. That we've been, we've got a winning program now. You can come there where, when I started, it was, you can come here and help us build something. So I think, we're all very proud of that fact that within 4 years we got things turned around and, had that kind of season. So I think, that in itself is, the main reason that, what we allowed to get done is to just lay a framework that they could build off of to, the program that they have today.
Yeah. Well, we talked about your Hall of Fame induction back in 1990. It was about 6 years ago where we honored 50 years of Griffon football. And you're not all that far away from us. A quick jot up I-35 in the Des Moines area. How much have you been able to just kind of keep track and get back when it comes to, like, I guess, when was the last time you were here for a game?
I'd have to look at the calendar. It's been a few years, probably. Yeah, the last time was the recognition of our 75 team. Mm-hmm. Yeah, still try to keep up and watch the scoreboard, and like I say, I keep Zach Workman and I stay in touch, so we're still very close.
That's awesome. And you were telling me that you were pretty locked into that Cyhawk rivalry this past weekend up in where you're living there in Iowa. So and Missouri Western had a bye week at that when that game was played, so that worked out good. But man, how exciting, right? We had our home opener the 13th, and now as we open conference play against a storied rival in Central Missouri, a team that the Griffons beat in exciting fashion in the regular season finale in 1975, a score of 24-20. It's the Mules that will be in town to face 2025 MoWest here on the 20th of September at 6 o'clock. But throughout the week and throughout the game, we'll be paying homage to the team that, quite honestly, may have put this program on the map, the 75 squad that went 8-3-1. And one of the big pieces of that team, again, the All-American quarterback from Bethany, Missouri, at that time, senior Bob Heimbaugh, over 2,400 passing yards, a perfect record at home, and the shutout win in the Mineral Water Bowl. So many cool things. I think 7 All-Americans on that team in all, on a team that I read over 120 players had reported for fall camp that year. So certainly a team that had some strength in numbers and in experience in those key areas. Well, Bob, that's about all I had. Anything else you'd want to say just on behalf of this team or anything else we didn't touch on?
No, I certainly appreciate your time, and just the fact that our team is being recognized. It's that makes I think for our team, I can say thank you for that, and we look forward to to this season and continuing the reputation of Missouri Western football. Thank you for having us.
Okay, well, yeah, Bob, we appreciate your time today as well. Thanks so much.